So you've started going to the gym, you're taking your diet seriously, it's time to get a little protein in your life. Is that cringy? What's going on, guys? Going back with another video, and today we're going to do it on the health side of things. Today we're going to talk about protein, which is a key staple in any diet, and specifically whey protein. So what exactly is whey? Whey is the liquid part of milk that separates during the cheese production process, and then that's taken and broken down into the powder that we consume, such as this one. Was that weird?
No.
So let's get a little sciencey for a second.
Sit up.
So let's get sciencey for a second. Muscle tissue is made up of fibers, and those fibers are made up of amino acids. Now, there's 20 total amino acids in our body, 11 of which are considered non-essential, which means your body can produce them on their own, and 9 of them are essential amino acids, which means we need to get it through the diet, through what we eat and drink on a daily basis. So foods like animal meat, egg, some plant proteins, as well as dairy are considered complete proteins, which means they contain all these 9 amino acids that our body cannot produce on its own. So whey protein contains all 9 of these essential amino acids, as well as an amino acid called leucine, which is shown to effectively stimulate muscle protein synthesis, which means if you're working out, it essentially helps you rebuild that muscle. As a matter of fact, there's a study done in 2003 that showed that whey protein isolates are one of the most purest forms of protein available for consumption. This study also shows that they contain protein concentrations of 90% or higher, and it's one of the highest concentrations of branched chain amino acids, which are BCAAs, of any protein product. BCAAs essentially help maintain and build these muscle tissues and prevent catabolic activity during your normal resistance or weightlifting training. So now that you know why exactly we need certain proteins because our body can't produce those amino acids on our own, what makes whey really special? Well, whey is a really fast absorbing protein. So if you're going to the gym and you're working out, what you're essentially doing is you're breaking down your muscle. Right after you do that, you need to feed your body protein. For your body to be able to use it, it needs to break down that protein and transport it to where it's needed. In some proteins that can take up to several hours before your body can even start utilizing that protein and beginning the process of muscle synthesis, which is again rebuilding the muscles that you've broken down during your training. And as a result, it's great to consume whey protein within 2 hours of working out, just because that's a time when your body can really use that fast absorbing protein to really help boost that muscle synthesis. As a matter of fact, research shows that individuals that consume 20 to 25 grams of protein, which in the case of protein powders like this one is just 1 scoop of protein, have shown to really have an increase in muscle building throughout the process of muscle protein synthesis. This is true for the first post-workout window, which is typically 2 hours after the workout, but also for up to 48 hours after a strong resistance workout. The next reason why whey protein is so important is it simply helps you achieve your daily protein goals. Now, it is a supplement, which means it's not supposed to be your primary source of protein consumption, right? You're supposed to go to your foods, your whole foods, your chicken, your fish, your beans, whatever your main source of protein is, should come from whole foods. However, it can be really hard to consume all the protein you need on a daily basis through whole foods alone. For example, if you weigh 150 pounds and you're trying to eat 70 to 100% of your weight in pounds and grams of protein, meaning, at the high end, if you're shooting for 150 grams of protein, if you, on a low day, if you're trying to hit that 70%, you're shooting for 105 grams of protein, it can sometimes be quite challenging to do that with just whole foods alone. You're either going to have to eat a lot, eat multiple times rather than just your standard breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and have a lot of snacks in between. Or the other thing you could do is you could simply take a scoop of protein, right? And that can be 25 grams of protein, really simple, and you don't have to really stuff yourself down. Now, if you're still someone who doesn't feel comfortable using supplements, whey is one of the most researched supplement out there, which means if you just go on and Google, whey supplements, you'll see so many articles linking to how whey is processed, how it's produced, as well as some of the benefits that I've highlighted, but more benefits as well. Now, one really, really important thing when choosing the type of whey protein you want to consume is the nutrition facts label within the protein. All protein is not created equal, right? So this particular one is Optimum Nutrition. this isn't a brand deal. I'm not getting paid by them to say this. This is just a personal preference that I've had for several years now, and it's my tried and tested basically because I keep coming back to it. But just to give you an example, so one scoop in this, which this tub has 74 servings, one scoop has 120 calories, only 1 gram of fat, 3 grams of carbs, and 24 grams of protein. So one really key thing to look at is what percentage of the scoop is protein, right? If your scoop is 30 grams, which in this case a scoop is 30 grams, out of my 30 gram scoop, 24 grams of that is protein. That's generally considered a good percentage. If only 15 grams of this was protein, then I'm paying a lot of money to not really get protein out of a protein powder, right? You're getting a lot of fillers, you're getting a lot of things that your body probably doesn't need, and that's something to really watch out for to make sure you're not wasting your money. Another thing I'd highly recommend you doing is to try a protein, right? So this is a 5-pound tub. The reason I've bought this is because I know that this works well for me, right? That might not be the case for you. Different proteins have different ingredients, right? They might have different sweeteners. Maybe a sweetener doesn't work with you. Once you decide on the protein that you want to consume, and again, there's so many brands out there, so I'd highly recommend you do your own research. Optimum Nutrition is a tried and tested one. That's why I've kind of stuck to it and I used it in my example here. But do your own research, find one that you like. Maybe you have certain needs, maybe you can't eat gluten, maybe you're allergic to, nuts and you can't do certain flavors. Whatever it may be, make sure to do your research. And once that's done, find either a sample or a smaller size of protein, because a lot of the times what you'll notice is that some proteins work well with your body than other proteins. You might consume one protein and feel sluggish throughout the day. You might, have an upset stomach. You might get gassy, but you eat another protein and it's totally fine. Assuming that the macros are equal, which means for the amount of calories and the amount of cholesterol and the amount of fat and carbs you're getting a similar amount of protein, it's totally fine to go with what works best for you. So with that, I hope you can see the importance of protein in general, but more specifically whey protein, and how important it can be to your overall well-being, and hopefully it can get you to meet your training goals. As always, we hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. I'm actually going to be doing another video on overall supplements, some research on supplements, as well as the supplements that I take in my fitness journey. So be on the lookout for that. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day, and until next time.